Hi, it's Gene Trowbridge, and this is the 4 questions you should ask before you invest. And I also think it's for sponsors, it's 4 questions you need to know the answers to before you get investors to invest. And you'll be surprised what the questions are about. And we're not talking dollars and cents at all, so that's kind of interesting. The first question we're going to ask is, hey, Gene, if I give you my money, what happens if something happens to you? So this is a question about continuity. At our firm, we will not write a set of offering documents where the managing member is just an individual. It's not safe for the investors. It's a bad idea. The individual manager is the only person who can sign documents, the only person who can make decisions. What happens if something happens to that person? And I'm not talking just about dying. In my career of doing this, I've been doing this for 27 years, the legal side of it, and I was a syndicator for almost 20. I've seen other things in death that cause people not to be able to continue. Bankruptcy, divorce, lawsuits. One client hit his head on a rock skiing and ended up to be a quadriplegic. Well, you need to be careful about that. So, first question, if you're a passive, ask the question, what happens if something happens to the sponsor? And if they don't have continuity, which might be just 2 or 3 people in the managing entity with them, just don't invest. Just walk away from it and find another investment where they've solved this continuity issue. Second question is to the syndicator, hey, Gene, have you done this before? So when I was a syndicator, and all the other syndicators, we've all had to answer this question, no, the first time. But hopefully we have some experience, some education, some practical experience that will give the investor the encouragement or the confidence to invest with you. And for syndicators, I mean, you got to get your first deal done. Get your first deal done. Don't make it a very large one. Get it done. So when someone asks you this question, hey, Gene, have you done this before? You can say, hell yes, at least once. That's all you need to do. And I don't mean that you buy the property and it goes full cycle and you sell it. I mean, you find the property, you get the legal documents done, you raise the money, you start managing the property. There you go. You're a sponsor, you're a syndicator, you're a crowdfunder. And then you can answer this question, yes, I have. A track record is going to be very, very important as you get into more sophisticated offerings as a syndicator. And from a passive investor, the more complicated the deals get, the more I should think you'd be interested in whether the syndicator has experience in doing exactly what they say they're going to be doing with your money. Question number 3. Hey, Gene, how much money are you going to invest in this deal? Is it just going to be us, or are you part of it? Well, this is called skin in the game. And yeah, we all have heard about that. And when I was a syndicator, skin in the game pretty much just meant cash. If the minimum investment for an investor was $25,000, I generally thought they would expect me to invest $25,000. But as I go on and get a little older, I understand that skin in the game can be more than just cash. What about signing the mortgage? Is it a recourse mortgage? Is it a non-recourse mortgage with carve-outs? Well, signing the mortgage is all part of what we would call skin in the game. So as a passive investor, I would ask the sponsor, you put it in any cash, you signed in any of the mortgage, how are you invested in this? Or are you just counting on us to do the deal? It's a good question. Then the 4th question goes right to the passive. Hey, Gene, what if I need my money back? What's the plan? You know, you say that in your offering documents, you say that the holding period is 5 to 7 years. Well, what happens if something happens and I need my money back? Well, in that case, the syndicator, the sponsor, has to have read their documents. If I've written the documents for them, the operating agreement in section Article 11 and 12 has two provisions on liquidity. One is voluntary liquidity. I want to sell, I want to give it away, I want to put it, to someone else. Fine. And then there's involuntary liquidity, death, divorce, bankruptcy, a lawsuit, all sorts of things that can happen that is going to take the investment away from the investor. We need to have a plan for all that. So the issue of liquidity is really found in the document. So if you're a passive investor, go to the operating agreement and read what the section on liquidity is. If you're a syndicator, make sure whoever is drafting your documents for you has a good plan that will protect the passives when and if they need liquidity before the end of the offering. So those are the 4 questions I think a passive investor should ask. And now I think you syndicators, you sponsors who are listening to this, know where I'm going and how you should, when you come to me to write your documents, how we should deal with this in your offerings. So that's the end of this broadcast. I appreciate you being here. If, in fact, you have any questions, you can just go to Trowbridge Law Group and sign up for a free consultation. We give 1/2 hour free consultations, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have one-on-one. Thank you.